AirAsia X Berhad, operated as AirAsia X, is a long-haul, budget airline based in Malaysia and a sister company of AirAsia. It commenced operations on November 2, 2007 with its first service flew from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, to Gold Coast Airport in Australia. AirAsia X flies to destinations within Asia and Australia. The airline operates a fleet of 18 aircraft and has placed orders for more. AirAsia X is the medium and long-haul operation of the brand AirAsia, which is Asia's largest low-cost carrier. The franchise is able to keep costs down by using a common ticketing system, aircraft livery, employee uniforms, and management style. History: on May 17, 2007, Tony Fernandes announced plans to commence flights from Malaysia to Australia. Fernandes said he would be avoiding Sydney Airport due to its high fees. Instead, the airline would concentrate on cheaper alternatives such as Melbourne's Avalon Airport, Williamtown Airport in Newcastle, and Adelaide Airport. Sustained fares were predicted to be around 800 Malaysian ringgits for a return fare, plus taxes. Interest was also expressed in using Gold Coast Airport as another Australian destination. Several major developments were announced on August 10, 2007. AirAsia X announced its first route from Kuala Lumpur to the Gold Coast. One-way fares for this route have been touted to begin at 50 Malaysian ringgits excluding taxes and charges, with average return prices to be approximately 1,800 Malaysian ringgits, inclusive of taxes and charges. The airline also announced that Sir Richard Branson of the Virgin Group will take a 20% share in the airline to help kick-start its long-haul operations and to finance its aircraft purchases. Branson also forecast a strong possibility of future, formal links between Virgin Blue and AirAsia X, including code-share agreements and loyalty programs. The first AirAsia X aircraft arrived at Kuala Lumpur International Airport on September 15, 2007. It was named Semangat Sir Freddie after the pioneer and founder of the low-cost model. The late Sir Freddie Laker of SkyTrain FlyAsian XPRESS FlyAsian XPRESS was an airline based in Sarawak, Malaysia. It operated services on some of the smaller routes dropped by national carrier Malaysia Airlines. Its routes have since been taken over by Muswings. FAX was privately owned by Kamaruddin Meranan, Raja Razali, Raja Azmi and Tony Fernandes. The airline was subcontracted by AirAsia to operate several domestic services following the withdrawal of Malaysia Airlines from rural air service routes within East Malaysia. Its maiden flight was on August 1, 2006, despite being delayed for 50 minutes by bad weather. FAX was not a low-cost carrier, but it incorporated some of AirAsia Euro 1 registered trademark S practices to reduce cost. Namely, internet and phone bookings, as well as ticketless check-in systems. Within days of operation it was subject to a flood of criticisms from commuters, civil servants, and people working in the tourism industry. Critics argued that the new turboprop service provided by FAX should not be more expensive than the rural air service previously operated by Malaysia Airlines, as FAX was subsidized by the Malaysian government. As well as cost, the airline was criticized for poor service, such as sudden flight cancellations without notice. The CEO of Sarawak Tourism Board also stated that disruptions to cargo supply flights to the interior cause tourists to take their own food rations, rather than rely upon the air cargo supplies of food and fuel. FAX released a new flight timetable citing the sudden need for heavy maintenance on its Fokker 50 fleet as the trigger for severe disruption to its schedules. On April 11, 2007, Tony Fernandes, CEO of the parent company of FAX, publicized details of a handover offer of FAX's rural routes to Firefly, a subsidiary airline of Malaysia Airlines. He described it as the logical thing to do, as Firefly can be the only national company operating turboprop aircraft. On April 26, 2007, the government announced Malaysia Airlines would take over the operation of rural air services from FAX, and gave assurance that any financial loss will be borne by the government. Malaysia Airlines announced the takeover of FAX destinations beginning on October 1, 2007. Malaysia Airlines would operate these routes through a new subsidiary, Maswings. With Fax Rural Air Services replaced by Maswings, the corporate name was changed from FlyAsian XPRESSSDN BHD to AirAsia XSDN BHD. With this, the airline's focus switched to a new market. Namely, low-cost, long-haul flights. Corporate affairs. The head office is located at the LCC terminal at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Sepang, Selangor, while the registered office is on level 12 of the Menara Prima Tower B in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. The airline plans to move its head office to a new 613,383 square feet, room 140 mil facility constructed at Clear 2. Until the new head office opens, the airline's head office will remain at LCCT. The new Clear 2 head office is scheduled to open in the end of 2015. It is scheduled to hold about 2,000 AirAsia and AirAsia X employees. Erin Omar, the AirAsia country CEO of Malaysia, stated that the headquarters needed to be redesigned because in the Clear 2 plans the location of the control tower had been changed. Construction on the facility was scheduled to begin in July 2014. Malaysia Airports Holdings is leasing the land that will be occupied by the headquarters. Filipina AirAsia X flight attendant January Ann Beza gave the building the name Red Quarters, or Red Q, and its groundbreaking ceremony was held in November 2014. Shareholders The entrance of two new major investors has given the company financial aid for future expansion plans. As of February 14, 2008, 48% of AirAsia X is owned by Aero Ventures, a venture of Tony Fernandes and other prominent Malaysians, as well as Air Canada's Robert Milton. Virgin Group owns 16% and a further 16% is owned by AirAsia. Bahrain-based Menara Consortium, and Japan-based Oryx Corporation have taken a 20% stake in AirAsia X for $250 million. Affiliate airlines. Indonesia AirAsia X Indonesia AirAsia X is a joint venture of AirAsia X. It serves Indonesia AirAsia's regularly scheduled long-haul international flights from Bali's Ngurah International Airport. Indonesia AirAsia X was planned to launch its first destination to Melbourne on December 26, 2014 but was delayed till March 18, 2015 due to delays in route approval from Australian Authority. Instead, Taipei became Indonesia AirAsia X's first destination by launching service on January 30, 2015. Thai AirAsia X Thai AirAsia X is a joint venture of AirAsia X in Thailand. Thai AirAsia X is Thailander Euro-1 registered trademark's first long-haul low-cost airline and began operation since its maiden service from Bangkok to Incheon, South Korea on June 17, 2014 and followed by Tokyo Narita and Osaka Kansai in Japan. Destinations. Future expansion. In June 2011, the airline received government approval to begin service to 6 cities, Beijing, Shanghai, Osaka, Jeddah, Istanbul, and Sydney. AirAsia X also plans to fly to Xi'an, Wuhan and Shenyang in the People's Republic of China. In 2009, the airline announced that it planned to serve Africa. AirAsia X also announced plans to expand to Japan and further into Australia. On January 12, 2012, AirAsia X withdrew services to Delhi, Mumbai, London, and Paris, citing high fuel prices, exorbitant taxes, and weak travel demand. The airline also announced that it will fly from Kuala Lumpur to Sydney effective April 1, 2012. Shortly after the announcement of the Sydney launch, the airline is also looking to serve Adelaide as the airline continues to expand in Australia. The airline also withdrew its service to Christchurch, New Zealand on May 31, 2012 after only a year of launching service. At the same time, the airline announced that it will increase services to Perth and Taipei from June 2012. From June 22, 2012, the airline will launch service to Beijing, its third Chinese destination, and at the same time will terminate service to Tianjin. AirAsia X also suspended service to Abu Dhabi many years prior due to unprofitability. On October 8, 2012, AirAsia X announced with 7 days' notice that they would withdraw service to Tehran, citing challenging economic and business conditions, which drew criticism amidst allegations of poor service and deceptive practices. In July 2013, AirAsia X executed an IPO on the Bursa Malaysia, raising $310 million. The international law firm of Pillsbury Winthrop Shaw Pittman advised on the transaction. The capital will be used to further expand routes, especially if the airline gets Thai authority EASA Euro unregistered trademark approval for an air operator a Euro unregistered trademark S certificate to operate flights from Bangkok to South Korea and Japan. AirAsia X is also planning to make a long-haul airline in Indonesia. It is in the process of getting an air operator certificate for that purpose. In early December 2013, Fernandes, speaking at the London School of Economics, said London services would resume within 8 months using Airbus A330-300 twin-engined aircraft models. On July 15, 2014, CEO Azran Usman-Rani and Airbus President and CEO Fabrice Bra Copyright Jaya, signed a Memorandum of Understanding for 50 A330-900 neo aircraft at the Farnborough Air Show in the UK. The aircraft reduces fuel consumption by 14% per seat over their current A330-300s. AirAsia X will become one of the first operators for the new type. We have been encouraging Airbus to launch this new version of the A330 for some time now. I am pleased that they are offering this choice and bringing us the aircraft we truly need to develop further our low-cost long-haul model. We are 100% sure that the A330neo will be quite unbeatable in its size category, and we look forward to enabling more people to fly further more often aboard this great aircraft, said Tan Sri Tony Fernandes, co-founder and director of AirAsia X. AirAsia X plans to reintroduce routes from Kuala Lumpur to Paris and London, as well as new routes to Sapporo and Honolulu in 2015. AirAsia X is also planning to resume flights to Delhi in early 2016. On December 15, 2014, AirAsia X announced a firm order for 55 Airbus A330-900 neo aircraft, 5 more than the original 50 aircraft the airline signed a Memorandum of Understanding for at the Farnborough Air Show in July 2014. This is the largest single order to date for the best-selling A330 family and reaffirms AirAsia's Euro unregistered trademark S position as the biggest A330 airline customer worldwide, having now ordered a total of 91 aircraft. Fleet. As of December 2014, the AirAsia X fleet consists of the following aircraft. See also, Transport in Malaysia. References. External links. Official website.